Do you know what all these people have in common?
I've found the partner who fits into my concept and not the other way around. On equal terms, do you understand? I do want to develop the business further, but I also want to create something of my own.
Great.
Maybe even set a new trend.
I really don't want to interfere any longer, but it has to taste good.
They make several thousand product versions themselves, even malts and sourdoughs. It does exist. Believe me.
It has to be profitable.
It is.
Just right.
Let's do this together.
They are team workers, helping to keep your business running and the products working.
Ideas.
You really have to see it. I was there. They really put a huge amount of effort into quality, from the seeds to the finished product, all from one source. I think they know every grain by name. I'm sure that no one looks at their raw materials more closely.
But it also has to taste good, son.
There is a piece of our own new bread in the kitchen. Try some. It really does feel totally right to me.
Finished. Now tell me, who are they?
You know them. Very well, in fact. Huh. You see, Dad, I don't do everything different to you.
With IREKS, competence, experience, unique quality, and several thousand team workers are at your side, all willing to commit themselves.
Where did you say your new bread is?
Are you already curious? A warm welcome to IREKS. My name is Andreas Korstoffer. I'm responsible for the production of baking ingredients at IREKS. And because our products should not only taste good, but are also produced sustainably and economically, I'll now take you to a fascinating world of high-tech, to our baking ingredients production section. You can really call our baking ingredients production a technical masterpiece. Due to the complete, fully automatic batch mixing system, we ensure that there will be no unintentional mixing of raw materials and are therefore able to avoid cross-contaminations altogether. These safety standards are comparable to those of the pharmaceutical industry. Our production is not only incredibly safe and efficient, but also conserves resources. We make use of the laws of gravity of physics and are therefore able to save a lot of energy. No matter whether in composing raw materials or in bagging, the levels are arranged in such a way that the product always falls from the top to the bottom. Here we process the most different raw materials, such as grain products and seeds, for example, into several thousand product versions. To ensure that only impeccable raw materials enter production, we carry out detailed incoming inspections. We partly even perform baking tests in advance. The raw material may only be unloaded once our laboratory has given the go-ahead for the sample. The composition of the baking ingredients takes place in a fully automatic way, Controlled via a magnetic field in the floor, the automated guided vehicles with the batch containers move autonomously to the raw material silos and collect one ingredient after another. Integrated precision scales always ensure exact dosing. They receive the corresponding recipe from the main production computer, the brain of the whole production section. By the way, with our ingenious product compatibility matrix, we can also make many special products here, such as gluten-free, kosher or halal, for example, which require particular manufacturing and cleaning. Following composition, the ingredients are thoroughly mixed using a mixing arm, which is plunged into the container. Everything takes place in the same batch container. This also ensures the highest product safety at this point. After the mixing process, a sample is taken automatically once again and checked in the laboratory. Only when everything is okay will the finished batch be approved for bagging. Finally, our products again pass through several safety mechanisms, such as the finest sieves or metal detectors, for example. There are various packaging sizes depending on the product and demand. We are very flexible and able to react to individual customer requirements at any time. Following bagging, the packaging units are palletized fully automatically and stored in our high-level storage area, before they are then sent on their way to customers. As the complete material flow is recorded electronically, meaning each batch has its own CV, we know at all times which raw materials have been processed in which quantity in which production batch. In this way, we can guarantee complete traceability for our customers. As you can see, quality and purity have top priority at every point of our production chain. This means checking, checking, and checking once again. On the one hand, via the many technical control mechanisms and the integrated company laboratory, and on the other, as we are constantly working hand in hand with our colleagues in the IQ Center.
Talking about working hand in hand, I'll now pass you on to my colleague. He will tell you how carefully we screen all our raw materials and products.
A warm welcome to the IREKS IQ Center. My name is Dr. Thomas Kunte. Safety and quality have top priority for us. Let me show you what we do to ensure this. In these laboratories, we can look into, basically, as with a high-resolution magnifying glass, the inside of the grain. In this way, we guarantee purity and constant quality of this natural product all along the whole value-added chain. This already starts with the cultivation on our own contract fields, the purchase of individual raw materials, and continues for the entire production process to the finished product. Let us take a normal grain, for example. This alone consists of a large number of chemical compounds. We examine and check this before raw materials are approved by us for processing. Let us start with flour, the main ingredient of every baker. It is a natural product subject to annual fluctuations. Here, in our flour analysis laboratory, we detect these fluctuations and are able to intervene in time to compensate them. Reliably constant high quality is a must for the profitability of the businesses of our customers. By the way, this laboratory service is also available to our customers. Enzymes are little helpers in nature. Without naturally inherent enzymes, no plant, no human being, and no animal could survive. The smallest amounts of these enzymes also have a great effect during baking. It is therefore all the more important to determine the exact quantity of enzymes in our baking ingredients and to know their activity. As we do this in company, we know exactly how the enzymes interact in the dough so that an optimal quality of the baked goods is achieved. Baking ingredients have never been as pure as they are today, but we go even further. Our Ultratrace analysis laboratory is absolutely unique in this sector. Here, we are able to detect the slightest traces of different substances. These may be either undesired substances, such as allergens or pesticides, for example, or desired substances, such as natural fermentation aromas, for example. So we do not only use Ultratrace analysis to guarantee the highest purity, but also to ensure the best possible product properties. Here we can see a liquid chromatography triple quadruple mass spectrometer. Once again, a high-tech magnifying glass with which we can see more than others. Using this, we can determine substances which are contained with only 1 gram in 1,000 tons of a product. High-tech provides us with quality reliability, but it also has to taste good, and in this case, with all the senses: tasting, smelling, feeling. This is what our sensory laboratory is concerned with. Here, especially trained experts assess all the nuances of our raw materials and products in regard to aroma, appearance, and texture. Only something which pleases all the senses will later become an IREKS product. And finally, there is the practice test in our bakery and confectionery bakery, from bakers for bakers. Well over 30,000 baking tests annually for the best quality and for products that work reliably in peak periods. Our strong field staff team ensures an optimum service on site. Around the globe, 500 bakery experts from 30 nations are at the side of our customers every day as consultants and initiators. They lend a hand and work together with the customers on creative recipes, concepts, and individual product solutions. But our customer service also includes a diverse range of training courses and seminars in our international baking and service centres. Mr. Kulmbach is the head of our baking academy.
Hello, Dr. Günther. In our baking academy, our customers are looked after by our experienced professionals, and we devise recipes with them, work according to their processes, and contribute our know-how, which we cultivate from our international relations. This often concerns trendy raw materials, like our malts from the company's own malt houses. These then also provide the customers with possibilities for their own creative ideas.
Wonderfully malty. Talking about malt, I would now like to hand you over to my colleague from the malt department, who will explain to you how grain is turned into an exquisite natural product at IREKS.
A warm welcome to IREKS. My name is Matthias Hansen, and I am responsible for malt. And because quality at IREKS does not only mean purity, but also taste and diversity, I will now take you away to our exquisite world of IREKS malts. Malt is a completely natural product and has been in use for hundreds of years in breweries and also later as a baking ingredient in bakeries. Malt provides a wonderful aroma and gives the brewers and bakers an almost infinite variety of tastes and possibilities. Ever since the company was founded more than 160 years ago, malt has been a part of IREKS. Today, we're the only baking ingredients manufacturer with its own malt production. As a result of this long tradition and experience, we offer a wide range of different base malts and also speciality malts, like our caramel and roasted malts, or also our aroma and sour malt in the meantime. Our wide product portfolio makes us one of the largest manufacturers of speciality malts worldwide. Experience is one factor, but constant investments in technology and know-how also form the basis for our high-quality malt products. I'll now take you with me to have a look behind the scenes. The grain for our malt houses is mainly delivered by truck. After checking the most important parameters in our laboratory, the grain is unloaded and put into our silo. From the stored grain, production batches are generated, which are then brought to the initial grain containers in the malt house. The grain is finally soaked in water and then ventilated to start the germination process. Subsequently, the green malt, which is already beginning to sprout, is brought to the germination floors to germinate, ideally at different temperatures for several days. From now on, there are two directions for the green malt. either to be dried at low temperatures and kiln dried directly, finally resulting in our base and melanoidin malts, or into a roasting drum, where the green malt is initially saccharified and then caramelized. This is how our fine caramel malts are made. Finished malt from kiln drying can also be processed in the roasting drum into roasted malt, quite similar to coffee roasting. This is how a large variety of IREKS malts is created. Another product which is made exclusively from malt is the Malt Extract. For this, the best IREKS Pilsner malt is coarsely ground, as in the brewing process, and mashed together with water. During this process, starch is converted into sugar and the fine malt aromas are released. The wort obtained in this way is now concentrated via evaporation columns, resulting in a viscous malt syrup. This extract, which is also available as an especially dark version, has many application possibilities for baked goods. Of course, our processes must be efficient and economic. As a food company with a history of more than 160 years, we are also thinking long-term and are constantly working on the topic of sustainability. We operate several combined heat and power plants, for example. These have an overall degree of efficiency of an average of 90%. This is twice as high as with a conventional power plant because the waste heat is used at the same time. For instance, we do not simply release the waste heat from malt drying into the environment, but lead it back into the process, where it can be used further in a meaningful way. For our high-quality IREKS malts, we need more than just efficient and technically sophisticated production processes, however. The quality of the raw materials used is also of the utmost importance. IREKS has one great advantage in this connection. Via our own agricultural trade, we obtain high-quality grain for our malt houses and are able to trace every grain batch back to the farmer's soil. The fact we can already influence the selection of the seeds means that, over and above, we have the possibility to meet individual customer requirements or to react to certain trends. Well, we are in the process from start to finish and have the possibility to directly influence each step of our value-added chain. One could almost say that we know each grain by name. That is by far not all we do for the quality of our malt products, however. In our laboratories, we carry out numerous quality controls, which are partly well above average. For instance, we check the gushing effect of each batch produced by means of the modified Carlsberg test. Or we check the purity of the variety on a random basis via protein gel electrophoresis, the fingerprint of each individual grain variety, so to speak. Over and above, in our Ultratrace analysis laboratory, we are able to detect the most minute amounts of undesired substances, such as pesticides or heavy metals, for example. Also here, we and our customers benefit from the cooperation of our two main business divisions, baking ingredients and malts. Also in the area of quality, we work hand in hand and can, in this way, invest jointly in laboratories, like our state-of-the-art trace analysis laboratory, among other things. So, now we have come to the end of our brief tour through the world of IREKS. I hope you enjoyed getting to know us a little better.
Amazing all the things that IREKS makes from grain. And I'm telling you, it does taste good.